Hey everybody, Hutch here and Phildo Baggins, and today we're going to talk swaps. I don't know how many of you have heard CFine talk about on Twitter the swap arbitrage going from Luna to bLUNA or Luna to LUNA-X. Phildo Baggins was one that told me about looking at nLUNA, which is essentially just bLUNA parked in the Nexus Vault. As
a ledger token, I guess they're calling it, right?
Say it again.
I guess they're calling it a ledger token, like PSI has. There's a different one, so it's like a representation of one bLUNA, so they call it a ledger token.
Makes sense to me. And I think there is some truth to that, because I believe Pappy Crypto Knight said that those swaps, that particular one, is in a taxable event because it's a ledger token. So I think you might be onto something there. Everybody has to do their own research. Everybody has to do get their own tax advice. But we thought you might think this was cool. I know I thought it was cool when he was telling me about it. Why don't you share your experience, Phildo, just in terms of when you're managing LTV, when you need bLUNA to park as collateral, or when you're about to get liquidated and you don't want to take that full hit, so you're selling bLUNA. Talk to me about what you've experienced.
Yeah, so that's the main time that this is useful, is for the degens that are not smart enough to keep their LTV in check. You might end up in a position where ideally what you want to do is buy bLUNA and add the collateral, but you may hit a point where you're out of gas and you're looking at liquidation if it gets lower, and that's, everyone has to choose their risk tolerance and decide where that is. But you hit a point where you are going to have to sell bLUNA to cover your position.
Well, let's just share with people why, because obviously I prefer to post more bLUNA, because then you maintain your full exposure, but you only get 60% loan to value.
Yeah. So this is when you're out of gas. Like I would say, that's why I mentioned a degen and being stupid, is that you're out of other resources. You do not want to do this. This is when you're, and this is also, people do get in this situation because the reason bLUNA falls off peg to the downside is this exact phenomenon, is when there's a dip in volatility downwards, all the degens get stuck selling their bLUNA. And it hurts and it sucks, so don't do it ideally.
So the first thing it is, I claim the bLUNA from Kujira, right? And now I'm swapping 330 Luna that I got off Terra swap. So what I'm doing is I'm getting a bunch of bLUNA because I saw my bar going from green to orange, and I know it's getting to red. So I'm just getting a big fat chunk of bLUNA to throw on there. Now you have to put more because you only get 60% loan to value. If I thought,
and this is ideally what you want to do for anyone listening. You don't want to sell it.
But if I had to, I would have, right? Or I would have sold some of it and posted some of it.
You even might later, like if you did this and shit really hit the fan, you can still sell it,
Yeah.
It's just last resort.
But
that's amazing. Like that right there, you basically got 15 free Luna, like right there.
Look at that. 4.7%. Yeah. 15 free. That was well. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you may be onto something where I incur a little impermanent loss on the bLUNA side. But if you're doing it to manage, you're going to make it up right away in the swap.
Yeah. Well, also, so you want to enter and exit the pool at the same, whatever the ratio of bLUNA to Luna is, you want it to be the same when you enter and exit.
Yeah.
So what you could do is try to enter the pool when it's at a dip, so that if you're going to only withdraw from it on a dip, but that's like, you're kind of like you don't get as many opportunities for it to be that low. So in terms of like flexibility, you probably want to just enter when it's at 0.98 and try to exit when it's at 0.98. But that does put you in the place of, if it dips and you're screwed and you need bLUNA, then you're withdrawing from the LP at like 0.96, which is like, but still it's not going to take out the gains you made, I don't think, in most situations.
Especially if you use Meow Trader to get good swaps.
Yeah. And by the way, I didn't realize you were talking, I didn't connect that we were talking bLUNA when you were talking about the limit orders. And like, this is amazing because like it doesn't happen that often. And you, like, a lot of times you just miss the opportunity. So this is like exactly what Meow Trader should be for.
Well, so
I can market buy most things on a dip. That's not the biggest problem, but bLUNA is just like kind of doing that.
So I just did this the other day, and this wasn't great, but it was again, we were trending in kind of the 1% range. And so
it's
this
like 5%
is actually,
right there, right? Like,
what's that?
Isn't that like a 5% gain on Luna?
No, it's like 2.
No?
Yeah, no, it's like over 2.
Okay. Yeah.
But if I go 4.2012111 divided by 41.034, and this is a limit order I actually did. So I got 2.3. What I did is I looked at the chart and kind of saw where it was trending. I saw where it was trending. So if I go back to this coin hall chart and we go back to, and I put in bLUNA, and we look and we see what the heck happened. Okay, so we kind of see where it was trending. I kind of find the bottom of these wicks,
right?
And you'll see I have a limit order in right now for like here,
right
now. So let's just go to Meow.
And even like some dummy buys, like it just wicked down to 0.95 right there, like within that much time, you know. So I don't know if Meow, like, this is what I haven't experimented with on super volatile wicks. I'm not sure if it hits like that is something.
One didn't hit, but I don't know if maybe I just didn't pay him enough.
Right.
Okay, so here's my limit order. So you can see I'm bidding at 9.9778, and for only 3.35 being.
But it's like free money, so it's kind of besides the 21 days. You know, if you need the liquidity, that's
well. Here's why.
That's like a 2.3% trade on Luna right there. Like that's amazing.
I have an imbalance in that I have some Luna, and I need this much Luna to put in the swap. I already have 9 bLUNA, so I need that 13 bLUNA to give me enough to kind of throw this in swap. And so I have
the LP.
The LP, and I already have stuff in the LP, but since Luna has pumped, I don't need as much.
Yeah.
I don't need as much to keep to manage loan to value. So I want it in there earning interest. So
this is why I've started just buying liquid Luna. I used to just buy bLUNA because I wanted to collateralize it, but now if I'm not paying attention and I have like I'm gonna buy a little, which is like often, I just get the liquid Luna because then you can look for the lower swap, you know, later.
So just to show people how to do it, what you do is I have this favorited, the bLUNA. I have the bLUNA favorited. I go buy. You have to click limit order. And then when it's limit order, you say how many you want. Like, let's just say I wanted 10, right?
This is on Terra, by the way. On the Terra blockchain, you can do limit orders for everyone that doesn't know this.
Right. This is the only way to do.
And people talk constantly, like there are massive advertisements about like DEXs that can do limit orders that are just like multi-million, like, and here it is, this cute little profile or protocol.
So, and I showed you guys it worked like that. That transaction was through this protocol.
I'm glad to see it hit because I haven't like played around with actually getting him to. I haven't really placed any yet.
Well, see, I just send this to this wallet. This wallet is Meow Trader.
Okay.
You see, so this is it.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. This wallet right here is Meow Trader, and then now I went ahead and it got executed.
It's funny that no one, like, even after hearing Meow just quietly sits in the background, like being amazing. I swear.
I think it'll fill for me tonight. I think that's what'll happen. Is like I've had this order in. There was a little scam like that order that got down there. Now the other thing is I only bid 10 meows, and a meow right now is like 8 cents. Yeah, like if we just go back here. So this time I gave him like 25 meows. And so I don't know if
part of the cool thing about it is the burn of Meow, the Meow token for
tell me
this
about
video.
It. I don't know.
What?
I don't know about it. What?
Oh, so when you prioritize the limit order, those are burned like from the token supply, like, you know.
Okay.
And also for the chat thing, if you've seen the chat,
no.
When you pay to chat, have you seen the chat?
No.
Oh my God. There's a little chat thing. It's cool. Watch. Like when you get a sec, go to Meow.
Yeah, I just want to show people.
Yeah.
1 UST is 11 Meow. So we're talking like 9 cents, 8 cents, whatever it is. Between 8 and 9 cents.
I'm accumulating Meow, by the way.
Are you? Okay. So
slowly, little bits.
Just to finish this. So if I say I want 10 bLUNA, then you enter the price. This is what it's at right now. So you would obviously go below this. So you would say like, okay, I want 9, 7, 8, 9, or whatever, right? So that's
which is your bid, right?
2%. That's the bid. That's how much of a Luna I want to pay for this, and then you put however many meow.
Yeah. So this is where like this is gonna burn that when that order hits, which is cool because you're like appreciating your meow or whatever. So that's pretty cool. And it also, so if someone else places an order at the same point and you have more meow, you're gonna get the order before them. Which is very cool to have a priority system like that instead of just a shit show like you didn't get it. Good luck, you know.
Absolutely.
Pretty cool.
Or like equal pro rata, like Kuji, like, oh, we filled you like 0.75 of a whatever. It's like, hey,
which does not work on volatility. We damn well know like that's when slippage gets bad, and so it's really cool to have, you know, if you're doing big bids and like that's 25 meow is really not much money. So like prioritize 200 and like guarantee you get the hit. Like pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I just threw 25 meow because if I don't get it today, I'll get it tomorrow. I'm kind of going back to that mentality of I want to put it on Terra swap, but if I can get a good swap going in, that's going to make up for like a month in Terra swap.
And it's probably not very used right now. You probably don't have to prioritize a lot. You know, like I doubt a bunch of other people are competing with your bids like at this exact moment. Maybe
that's
after
true.
The video.
Well, and then just to show people on the pairs, and then you could show me the meow chat, but just the LUNA-bLUNA swap, you can check the 7-day APR. It's down quite a bit. It's been in the double digits for a long time. 24 hours. Let's see it's probably because so many people have slammed money in here from Astroport.
I think there's like less swapping of it going on too because of Astroport, because a lot of people are locking it right now.
Yeah. So you can see
and LUNA-X as well. So LUNA-X is a reason not to be doing the bLUNA-LUNA pool.
Hey, as long as we brought that up. Okay, so going back to the LUNA-X thing, it's really interesting. It's Stader's native token. So when you stake Luna on Stader Labs, where they do all the auto compounding and the airdrops for you, you get this ledger token, depository receipt. I'm not sure which is which, but you get LUNA-X. And so the idea is it's starting very small, but eventually, since you're receiving all the auto compounded rewards, it should be more than one. So when you trade Luna for LUNA-X, you should actually get more than one. And so what I have here is Sefi, who, if you're not part of his spaces, you're definitely going to want to follow him. And whenever he's doing one of his live spaces, super engaging, and you can learn a lot about the Terra ecosystem. It's how I've learned a lot of what I've learned, just getting thrown in the deep end. And, you know, it's definitely takes questions from beginners, but it also gets very, very advanced. But he says, I got 1.6 free LUNA-X today on Luna Swap. Nice. And I said, I've been looking at that swap, but unclear on what happens. When I swap for nLUNA, it's automatically staked in Nexus. Is the LUNA-X automatically staked in Stader for me then? And if so, is it kind of trapped until Anchor or Mars accepted as collateral? And Colin answered, this is a great answer. He said, what does he say? I am a breathing time machine. I'll take you all for a ride. He says, your LUNA-X automatically receives staking rewards as the value of your LUNA-X increases in value over time. So again, you're not going to get separate staking rewards, just that value will accrue almost like AUST approaches UST that earns that 20%. The LUNA-X increases in value. So as the value of your LUNA-X increases over time, just like AUST, you can trade your LUNA-X if you want to avoid the 21-day unstaking period. So just like earlier in this video, we talked about how you can just burn the bLUNA and it turns into that exact amount of Luna. You can do that with LUNA-X at any time. So you might get a LUNA-X at, you might trade one Luna and get 0.98, 0.97. Maybe you get lucky and you get 1.1 or whatever you get. But then over time, it's just going to be worth more and more. And so you can burn it on the Stader interface for that exact amount of Luna if you're willing to wait the 21 days. To my point, though, I like the utility of my LUNA-X. And at this point, you can't really post LUNA-X as collateral. So I think I had one more question. Let's see. So I said, so will the value of LUNA-X just keep appreciating to infinity as it tax on rewards? For instance, I swap and get 1.01, but down the road it grows to 1.02, then 1.03, and so on. But at any time, I can 21-day burn it for the same amount of Luna or swap it or whatever, right? And he says, exactly, that's what makes this a fun play, especially if you can arb for a couple % on Terra swap once in a while. I like to see if anybody has done Luna to LUNA-X and then back to Luna and then to bLUNA. And yeah, I'm sure people have done all that. That's why we're talking about what we're talking about. So what I'm going to look at here is the LUNA-X. So if I go LUNA-X, I think there's a pretty favorable ratio. CFI posted that he got 1.6%, and you can see we're getting almost 1.7 right now. The one thing I'm concerned about, the nice thing about holding LUNA-X is it essentially is staking. So I'm always looking for these liquid staking options. And it's not exactly liquid because it's in Stader, but since I can swap the token, it is almost kind of like a liquid staking. And if I look back, the LUNA-X hasn't been around. This is the LUNA-bLUNA. So if I needed to get out of it, I would want bLUNA. And it looks like I'm going to get a favorable swap rate. You can see it's 0.993 versus 0.983. So I'd be making about 1% swapping back. I wouldn't be losing. And you know what? Even if I lost a little, that wouldn't be horrible. And this seems to be going in the right direction. So I am going to go to Terra swap. Theoretically, the LUNA-X should continue compounding for me, like we discussed in that tweet. And I'm going to have some resources on that in the description below. Yeah, so CFI said yesterday got an extra 1.6%. Plus, this continues to grow and compound. I am going to go for it at 1.7, and I'm going to go big. Let's see if we try and swap our LUNA-X for bLUNA, what it would be in this moment. So if you remember, we got an extra 0.17%. Let's just put that. Let's put 1.17 because that's what we got. And let's see how much bLUNA we would get if we had to swap it back. Yeah, so that's not too bad, right? It's not too bad of a swap rate to go from 1.17 to 1.1528. They do have the APRs here, average 48-hour APR for the pool, including airdrops measured every 24 hours. So my LUNA-X is earning over 10%. We'll look at some swaps, but one of my ideal places to go or in the past was the Nexus protocol. And I actually released some collateral today. You can see there's 249 bLUNA. I've already picked up 5.8 Psi tokens. Psi's been pretty beaten down. In fact, let's just go to CoinHall. Let's open up a new tab and you can see it. But they are a great team and going to be doing some cool things in the future. And when do I ideally want to be dollar cost averaging? When things are pretty beat up. So it came all the way down here in the fives. Looks like it kind of double bottomed, almost triple bottom there at the high fours, low fives. And now we're back up to 5.8. Now I actually swapped UST for some to lock into Astroport. And tomorrow is the deadline. So I think for today, I'm not going to do any swaps. I'm just going to park the bLUNA right here on in the Nexus Vaults. So I'm going to click deposit so I can get as much of the Psi as I can. Oh, I'm going to tell you a little trick too. For the swaps, even though I have 278.634, I'm going to do a little bit less than that. And I like to have one full LUNA or some increment of one. So I'm just going to do 277.62 just to make sure I have one full bLUNA so I can check the price easily on swaps. So I'm going to click, it's going to cost me 18 cents, no problem. We're going to go ahead and deposit this in here. Again, using the handy dandy ledger, verifying the transaction. We should be good to go here. And again, this is probably the easiest place to liquid stake because it's one click to withdraw versus if you have, I also have some in the bLUNA-LUNA pool in Terra swap. But when you get that out, that takes a click and then you can do some, but you probably want to convert the LUNA to bLUNA and that takes some clicks. And when things are moving really, really fast, like they did there, it's kind of scary seeing that green LTV bar go from green to orange and heading towards red. So sometimes it's nice to have some right here. And really all they're doing is they're posting my bLUNA onto Anchor. They're borrowing against it, and then they're parking it in Anchor Earn to earn the 19 or so percent. And then they're paying me the arbitrage with the they're getting the Anchor token and the Anchor Earn, and they're paying me 8.4%, which is actually a pretty good rate. If we actually just look, if we go to this coin haul, by the way, if you're not on coinhaul.org, check it out. So if we look at the bLUNA-LUNA pair for the last 7 days, it's about the same. Now I do get paid in Luna as opposed to PSI, but like I said, for the next 24 hours, I'd actually like to get PSI. Looks like the 24-hour rate's a little bit better, but I already have some on here anyway. So I'm going to leave that there. And we will, now we have 527, and hopefully rack up a lot of PSI tokens before this Astroport phase 1 ends. I'm going to go ahead and do one more little dump of PSI UST pool and hopefully get some more Astra tokens. So to bring things full circle, I want to show you some nLUNA swaps, which was like, I didn't even think was possible until Phildo Baggins told me about it. So you can see here, the first one was on December 11th, and it was a complex swap. It was really just, I was swapping Kuji for nLUNA, but the way that they did it, the path was 585 Kuji for UST, swap the UST for PSI, swap the PSI for nLUNA. And the reason why I did nLUNA is because I also try to do Kuji for bLUNA. I was trying to, and Kuji for Luna, and it wasn't as favorable. The nLUNA gave me the best swap. So behind the scenes, Terra Swap is figuring out the most efficient path, and I would just look at the numbers, and I got the most nLUNA swap. What's so interesting about nLUNA is, remember, it was a, what was the word he said? Not depository, it's a ledger token, a ledger token. So nLUNA is really just bLUNA. And as soon as I swapped it, the Kuji for the nLUNA, it was sitting right in my Nexus protocol. It was sitting right there for me. And I was managing because, let's see, the 11th was here. So here's the 10th, the 11th, we're falling down. You know, we hit from the 60s to the 50s, and I'm like, oh crap, here we go again. I got to get ready. I got to post some bLUNA. So all I did, I didn't even leave it on Nexus. As soon as I swapped the Kuji, it was sitting right here in my vault, and I just withdrew it and posted it. Same thing happened on the 17th. So I had a bunch of PSI, had it staked. You can see up here too, I had some UST. I swapped some UST for Luna, and then I also had PSI, and I swapped. I wanted to see if I could swap for bLUNA, and it wasn't as good as swapping for nLUNA. And so again, if we look at the chart, the 17th, the situation, like, all right, we're getting out of the woods, like, oh crap, here we go again. Now I didn't know we were going to hammer down and make a higher low and head off to the races. I thought I had to manage again, and so I just swapped it for Luna. And I found, you know, I haven't had to do what Phildo Baggins said, where I have to just sell the Luna for to just get UST and just buy down the loan. I like to be over collateralized. Again, the reason why I showed you all these swaps is I like to keep liquid Luna staked in different places, whether it be the Nexus Vaults, whether it be the Terra Swap, LUNA-bLUNA liquidity pool, which you can withdraw right away. There's a few extra clicks, and you have to convert the Luna to bLUNA if you need to post it. And then now there's the xLUNA, which I hadn't really thought of, but if you think about it, just the token itself is essentially liquid staked, and that it'll become more valuable over time. It's a new token, but theoretically it's earning that 10% for us or whatever it is by Stader, somewhere in that neighborhood of 10%. And so it's going to be more valuable. And so theoretically in the future, if I need to swap it for bLUNA, and we saw earlier that I got a pretty good swap rate, but if I need to swap it in the future, I should even get a better swap rate. And that token's just sitting in my wallet as yLUNA, but in behind the scenes, it's becoming more valuable. So hopefully all this was valuable in terms of trying to eke out a little extra arbitrage in your swaps, and also in making sure you're still compounding, even though you may be borrowing or managing LTV. As soon as Luna pumps, like it is now, we shot up to new all-time highs to 80, and now it looks like we're coming back and we're testing the old all-time highs. Wouldn't surprise me if we kind of touch and go right here and shoot up to new all-time highs tomorrow when everybody wakes up and sees what happened. But as Luna's pumping, you don't need to keep as much bLUNA parked on Anchor Protocol to manage what loan you have. I also don't like it just sitting dead. And so that's where I like to have these different places to keep it. And just having it around, you could constantly be checking and seeing if you could earn a little arb here and there, swapping between the different options. Let's not forget Prism Protocol coming out soon. Pretty soon we'll have pLUNA and yLUNA. Who knows how many other letters we'll get in this alphabet, but this is fun. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll talk to you soon.